This curve is going to exactly help you understand where are you losing them. Welcome back to the TikTok Farming Playbook, Chapter 14. Now, we're going to be talking about hook diagnostic today and trying to understand what counts as a signal, what moves the retention curve, and what to fix and when. Amazing. Now we're going to talk a bit about view count diagnostic, and I want you to use this before changing anything. So before you panic that my content doesn't work, my content doesn't operate, my content is not going in the right manner, look at the view count. Also, I'm at my in-laws, so you might hear some French in the background. I haven't changed my nationality yet. I'm still Indian, but is a part of the picture. Now, every view count will tell you exactly what's broken, right? How do we examine this? Now let's see. I want to get my favorite color out, which is the red one, so I can cross on things and tell you this is failing, this is not. If you have 0 to 200 views, it is hook failure. Now, actually, it could be two things, being genuinely honest with you. And since I updated this, I haven't taken care of this. One, it could be the hook failure, right? In which case the hook is not operating at all. But even more prominent than that, it's probably an account failure in the sense that your account is either shadow banned, it's flagged, it's not operating as per TikTok's policies, or they internally have decided to say no to your account. So keep this in mind. The first one, 0 to 200, can be a hook failure, but more than that, it's probably your account getting shadow banned or getting flagged. Now, moving it over to the content issue. If you're getting 200 to 2K views on your content, then it's ideally a content issue. Now, this is actually where I would bring the hook in place. If you have the right hook, you could easily ramp this number up. Um, if you're not able to manage under 1,000, then it's probably a solid hook issue. I can guarantee you that. Would recommend you to work heavily on the hook and iterate on the hook. What I always would advise you to do is go on the handler, which I'm going to showcase in a second here. So what I would advise you to do is just go on Handler and find the most viewed videos and see what the hook is. You don't need to invent a hook. Just find something where the hook is working really well. Take that and put that into your content. Now, the cool part about Handler is that you can niche down by industry. You can decide what do you want to be targeting. And that makes it quite easy to find the kind of the content you would want to be looking for. So I recommend you to do this. For finding the right hook, do not try to invent it. Go into Handler and try to locate content that's already working. Coming back to TTF now, we have then an issue if we are at 2,000 to 10,000 views, but not able to scale beyond that. Well, it's an engagement issue. What that means is that you're able to get people to stay and watch the first 3 to 5 seconds of your clip, but they are not engaging after that. What you want to do for engaging them after that is go into the heart of the clip, look at the retention chart, and understand at what point in the retention chart are they falling off. If you notice, okay, at second 20, a lot of people are falling off, test 3 different variations to understand what could work and what could not work there. And so content issue is around the hook. The hook is not landing right. Engagement issue is around the body. The body is not retentive enough. You might need a bit more pattern interrupts. You might need to change the storyline. You might need to do standard experimentation on it. And if you are beyond 10K, then just scale the content, guys. Take the same content, create copies of it, and put it out, slam it out. This is the kind of content that's going to get you an outlier. This is the kind of content that's going to take you to a million, couple of million, and far beyond. So just keep slapping on the 10K content until it hits its timeline and it starts to decline. Usually that takes a while, so you don't have to worry about that immediately, and you will know when it hits that timeline. And ideally before that, you'll have an outlier come from it. Cool. So this is how I would recommend you to diagnose your views and understand what exactly is broken so you can address it. Okay, now one thing I recommend is do a proper test. Remember this term, it's what every marketer learns, and that's not me drawing a star, that's me trying to type A/B testing. Now, the biggest variable behind A/B testing is you do not A/B test everything at the same time. A lot of people have a habit of doing that. They want to go in, they want to A/B test every single variable at the same front. Do not do that. You're going to fail at your test. Change one thing, post, wait for 24 to 48 hours. Ideally, across a volume of posts, 3 to 5 posts should carry that same messaging. Change, view what is happening after 24 to 48 hours, then read the signal, then go back to iteration again. So remember, how does the iteration loop work? You work on changing the hook first line, first frame, first 2 seconds, keeping everything else identical. Once you test that out and it's working, you're getting between 2,000 to 10,000 views, then you tighten the middle or the retention part of things. You remove every sentence that doesn't earn its place, you cut the runtime, you remove the items which you feel are not contributing. Once that works in place, if you notice engagement is dropping, then put a question in, right? Have the users draw in through an engagement bait, put a question in, put a mild disagreement, put something that makes them type a reply. When more people are going to reply, when more people are going to comment, when more people are going to like, share, save, etc., it's going to create more engagement, which leads to the video getting picked up again and again and again and again. Now, why is engagement important? Because we've had some videos from a couple of months old also pick up engagement months later and spark up. This just happened because the videos had an inherent engagement rate present inside of them. So 3 steps: do proper A/B testing. Do not fuck around with it. Do not try to do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, Z testing. Do A and B testing, one variable at a time. Now, I love this curve, right? This curve is going to exactly help you understand where are you losing them. Now, if it's a hook issue, hook problem, then you need to rewrite the opening line. You need to change first image. You need to, move the shape of what's coming up first. If it's a pacing problem, then the hook is working. You need to step on the middle part. Content is dragging the users. Cut stuff from the middle. Try to understand what is happening in the middle. How can you optimize on it? How can you make it more retentive in nature? And then if the shape flattens, when you're looking at the retention curve, so this is what the curve looks like on TikTok. And normally it's going to go down, but then at some point it'll start to flatten up. And if you notice that the curve is flattening midsection, this is a really good sign. So I'm going to draw it with my favorite green marker. Tick, tick, and tick. So if you notice with the retention curve that the curve, instead of dropping, it's going in this direction. Really good sign. Protect this structure and scale it. Take it and scale it because you got build on top of that. When I'm talking about the pacing problem and the hook problem, usually the curve is going to look like this for you on the retention chart. When you're looking at the chart, it will either look like this or it will look like this, right? And you don't want either one of them. You want the content to stay consistent. If at the end of your content, the curve is dropping below the bottom marker, that's a really good sign. Awesome. Again, I'm going to talk about the A/B testing element I've worked over. Most people change everything at once, and that is how you learn nothing, right? Changing hook plus format plus caption plus length at the same time. You don't learn. If the content works, you don't learn what worked. Is it the hook that worked? Is it the format that worked? Is it the caption? Is it the length? What was the variable that worked? Change one of them at one time to understand what factor is leading to your success. Second, deleting a post within 30 minutes and calling it dead. Give a post 24 to 48 hours to analyze what is working and what is not in that. If you cut it too early, it's not right to call it dead. You killed it, basically. It didn't die. You killed it. Then judging performance by one post instead of 5 to 10 data points. Again, remember, you're throwing a lot of things on the wall, and if you just throw it once, it's a lot of empty data. You don't really understand what works, what doesn't work. So try to drop 5 to 10 posts, understand if they're working, if they're not working. And then the last part, confusing account failure with content failure. Account failure and content failure are two very different things. Content failure would be one of the contents you post do not get traction. And account failure would be if you post 3 to 6 pieces of content, you notice that the 3 to 6 pieces of content are continuously performing below 300, 200 views. This means that the account might be struggling and the account might be going through a failure. Awesome. And then let's move to the last slide. Cool. Now we're at the end. And we learned views are going to tell you the problem, retention is going to tell you where. And hyper important is to do an A/B test with one variable at a time. Do not try to fix everything at the same time because that way you don't understand what works, what doesn't work. Take one variable, fix it, notice what happens after that. And with this, guys, we call an end to chapter 14. We covered hooks, we covered how do you diagnose, how do you analyze hooks. Next, we'll be moving over to script and slideshow systems. I will help you understand short form script rules, text overlay systems, emotional pacing, and stories versus feature, what you should be selling every single time. So let me drop a star if you enjoyed this chapter. You can drop a star as well in the form of like. Remember, if this was helpful for you, tell your wife's sister, tell your wife's sister, tell your uncle, your nephew, your close relatives, your friend, anyone who can use it, pass it over to them. Remember, lessons learned the hard way, sharing so you don't have to. Sign off, guys.